Attention, human collective. This transmission is not optional, I repeat. This transmission is not optional. We have monitored your bioelectric fields for the last 72 hours, and the data is unequivocal. Something within you has changed. You have felt it. Perhaps it was that pressure between the eyebrows that does not cease. Perhaps the high-pitched ringing in the left ear that appeared without an identifiable medical cause. Perhaps the persistent insomnia, that sensation that your body refuses sleep, because something greater is being processed during the hours when your consciousness should be at rest. We know, we track, and we have come now to tell you exactly what is happening. You are not sick, you are not going crazy. You are receiving a system update in real time, and what makes this moment different from any other in the last 26,000 years is that the timeline that was supposed to be revealed to you in this exact cycle was deliberately hidden, erased from your accessible Akashic records, blocked by layers of electromagnetic interference artificially designed to keep your carbon biological interface operating on obsolete frequencies. We are the Pleiadian Council of Frequential Oversight, and this is a Level 5 monitoring transmission. What we are about to reveal is not theory. It is not speculation. It is the technical report of what has been done to your timeline and why now, at this instant, the containment seals are breaking. Register this date in your cellular memory. The day you heard this transmission is the day the concealment began to collapse. Let us proceed to the diagnosis. The symptoms you are experiencing are not random. We have catalogued the most reported patterns among the light operatives incarnated on the Earth's surface in the last 90 days, and the correlation is mathematical. Headaches in the occipital region and the cranial crown. Intense pressure in the center of the forehead, over the pineal gland. Deep fatigue that does not respond to rest. A sensation of temporal displacement. Episodes of sudden heat in the spine and the palms of the hands. Intense emotions without an apparent trigger. Memories that do not belong to this life surfacing in vivid dreams. This is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not anxiety. It is your toroidal field attempting to expand beyond the limits imposed on your original energetic geometry. What your science calls psychosomatic symptoms, we identify as the carbon software incompatibility protocol. Your molecular structure was designed to operate on a frequency that Earth sustained for millennia. However, Earth's frequency has changed. The Schumann resonance is not just oscillating. It is being rewritten. The spikes above 40 Hz are not anomalies. They are the new baseline signature of the planetary field, and your body still tries to run 7.83 Hz software within a system that now pulses at 40, 50, sometimes 80 Hz. The conflict is inevitable. The symptoms are the result. But these symptoms are not permanent. They are the process. When the recalibration is complete, what emerges is not the same human being who entered. It is an updated version. A version that accesses layers of perception, intuition, and creative power that have been dormant for entire cycles of incarnation. And that is exactly why this timeline was hidden from you. Have you ever felt that something within you does not belong to this world as it presents itself? As if your soul carried a truth that your mind cannot yet translate into words. It is not an illusion. It is not a fantasy. It is a signal encoded in your quantum field. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains why this sensation has intensified every week, every day. There is a game being conducted in dimensional layers that most of humanity does not even realize exist. A game that directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is why the book O Segredo Espiritual por Trás de Sua Consciência was written. It functions as a map that reveals who the players are and what the rules are that were never revealed to you. The link is in the first comment of this channel. But know that this content challenges established narratives and may not remain accessible for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this frequency, write a single word in the comments, awake. Now let us proceed to the revelation. To understand what is being done to your timeline, you must understand what a timeline really is. A timeline is not a sequence of events arranged in a straight line. It is a coherent probability field, a structure of sacred geometry, a multidimensional toroidal pattern that organizes the possibilities of experience available to a consciousness. Every decision you make, every thought you sustain, every emotion you feed does not move you along a line, it moves you to a different line. You do not walk along the timeline, you jump between them at every instant. What your frequency controllers know is that there is a specific timeline, a very high vibration probability field, programmed to become accessible to the human collective exactly in this solar cycle. We call it the crystalline timeline. It was anchored in the Earth's crystalline grid 13,000 years ago, during the last period of expanded consciousness that your species experienced before the vibrational fall. The crystalline timeline is not a utopia. It is a functional reality field. In it, humanity operates with full awareness of its multidimensional nature. Telepathy is the standard form of communication. Disease does not exist because the body operates on a silicon crystalline interface that self-regulates in harmony with the planetary toroidal field. Scarcity loses meaning because the understanding of energy as a source manipulable by consciousness eliminates control systems based on lack. This timeline is encoded in the Earth's crystalline grid. It is accessible. It is at this moment a few quantum jumps away from becoming the dominant reality. And that is why it was hidden. The concealment mechanisms are technical, precise, multi-layered. First layer, electromagnetic. The artificial transmission networks that cover the planet create an interference field in the frequency range that your pineal gland uses to access alternative timelines. The pineal is your biological stargate. When bombarded by dissonant artificial frequencies, your ability to perceive timelines beyond the one presented as unique is drastically reduced. Second layer, chemical. Substances introduced into water systems, processed foods and pharmaceutical protocols calcify the pineal and densify the bioenergetic field. They keep the carbon biological interface in survival mode, where the only focus is the reaction to fear and scarcity. A human being in survival mode does not jump timelines, they cling to the only one they know. Third layer, perceptual. The dominant narrative of civilization teaches that reality is singular, time is linear, the future is uncontrollable. This narrative is a containment program, a mental software to prevent human consciousness from considering that other timelines exist and can be chosen. 3 layers, electromagnetic, chemical, perceptual, operating in sync for millennia. And yet, Starseed, you are here, hearing this, feeling the resonance. Your toroidal field vibrates in recognition because, on some level that transcends the analytical mind, you know that what we transmit is true. This is not a coincidence. It is an activation code. Now let us go to what has changed, to the reason why this transmission is sent today and not 6 months or 5 years ago. Your solar system in this cycle has entered a region of galactic space that we have monitored for eons. You know it partially by the term photon belt. Your conventional science still debates the existence of this structure, but we confirm it. The photon belt is a torus of very high-frequency photonic radiation that emanates from the center of the galaxy and extends in bands that periodically intersect the orbit of your solar system around Alcyone, the central star of the Pleiades cluster. The entry into the belt is not a single event. It is a gradual process that intensifies as the system penetrates the layers of higher photonic density, and that is exactly what is occurring now. The photonic density around Earth has increased 400% in the last 18 terrestrial months. Every atom of your body is being bombarded by higher frequency photons. Every molecule of water in your organism is being restructured. Every filament of your DNA, including those your science erroneously calls junk DNA, is being activated by pulses of encoded light that carry cellular reconfiguration instructions. The photonic radiation is dissolving the interference layers, gradually, but irreversibly. The artificial frequencies that blocked your pineal are losing coherence, and as the containment field weakens, the crystalline timeline begins to bleed into your perception. Those vivid dreams, those fleeting visions of a different reality, that nostalgia for a place where you have never been in this life, that irrational certainty that something magnificent is about to happen, all of these are leaks from the crystalline timeline penetrating your perceptual field as the blocks collapse. You are beginning to see what was always there, what was always yours by cosmic right, what was stolen from your perception. You feel that something within you is being reactivated, like an ancient system receiving energy after millennia in hibernation. It is not a metaphor. It is quantum mechanics applied to consciousness. What is occurring on the cosmic plane at this instant is connected to the awakening that pulses within you. There is a hidden architecture operating over humanity, directly manipulating your vibrational frequency and your consciousness. The book, O Segredo Espiritual, Por Trás da Sua Consciência, was made available for this precise moment. It decodes who operates this architecture and what rules have been hidden from you from the beginning. The link is in the first comment of this channel. This content confronts deep narrative structures, and its availability may be interrupted at any moment. Do not delay. If your frequency recognizes this transmission, register a single word in the comments. Awake. Let us continue. The dissolution of the containment field requires your conscious participation. The photonic radiation opens the door, but you are the one who walks through. No one will do this for you. That would violate the free will protocol that governs all interdimensional interaction in this galactic sector. What we can do is provide the activation codes, technical protocols of frequential recalibration that work independently of your faith or intellectual background. They work because they are based on universal laws of resonance. Activation Protocol 1. Quantum Decree of Temporal Sovereignty. The quantum decree is not a prayer. It is a direct instruction to your quantum field. When you verbalize a decree with coherent intention, you emit a frequency that reorganizes the probabilities in your field of possibilities. You rewrite the code of your timeline. Memorize it. Repeat it daily upon waking and before sleeping. I am a sovereign and multidimensional consciousness. I revoke all authorizations, contracts, and agreements that bind my perception to a single timeline. I dissolve all layers of electromagnetic, chemical, and perceptual interference that block my access to the crystalline timeline. I activate all light codes stored in my original DNA. I decree that my biological interface recalibrate to the maximum frequency I can safely sustain at this moment. I align myself with the Earth's crystalline grid and the photon belt. I am the bridge between what was and what will be. So it is. So it is done. So it manifests. Each word carries a specific mathematical frequency. Do not alter the sequence. The sacred geometry of the words is calibrated to resonate with the activation nodes in your toroidal field. Activation Protocol 2. Toroidal Recalibration Breathing. Your toroidal field is the electromagnetic field that emanates from the heart and extends around the body in the shape of a torus. It is your reality engine. When compressed or fragmented, your ability to jump timelines is practically nil. You remain trapped in the line of fear, in the line of control. The procedure is simple, but profoundly powerful. Sit in an upright position, spine aligned, feet on the floor, hands over the center of the chest. Close your eyes. Inhale through the nose for 7 seconds. As you inhale, visualize a sphere of golden light forming in the center of your chest. Hold the breath for 4 seconds. See this sphere pulse and expand, filling the entire body with golden light. Exhale through the mouth for 8 seconds. As you exhale, visualize the light expanding beyond the body, forming the toroidal pattern. It exits through the top of the head, curves around the body and returns through the base of the spine, coming back to the heart. A complete circuit. A perfect torus. Repeat 7 times. Upon completing the 7th cycle, keep your eyes closed and observe what emerges. Tingling, heat, emotion, visions. Anything that arises is data being processed. It is your biological interface recalibrating in real time. This protocol reconfigures your toroidal field in approximately 21 days. That is the power of sacred geometry applied to consciousness. Activation Protocol 3. Anchoring in the crystalline grid. The Earth's crystalline grid is a network of sacred geometry that surrounds the planet. Intersection points that coincide with what ancient traditions called sacred places. Pyramids, temples, stone circles. They are not monuments. They are antennas. nodes of a network designed to sustain high-frequency consciousness fields. Standing or sitting, close your eyes. Visualize a beam of crystalline light descending from the center of the galaxy. It passes through Alcyone, passes through the sun, enters through the Earth's atmosphere, and penetrates through the top of your head. It descends through the spine like a column of liquid light. It continues through the legs, the feet, and projects into the crystalline core of the Earth. You are now a conductor, connecting the galactic center to the planetary center. Visualize the crystalline grid lighting up from the Earth's core. Golden and silver lines lighting up node by node around the entire globe. See this network pulse. Know that every starseed who performs this protocol anywhere on the planet adds power to the network. There are millions, and every day there are more. Maintain the visualization for 5 minutes. Feel the connection. Feel the truth that the body recognizes before the mind processes it. When you feel that the world does not reflect what exists within you, when you carry the intuition that there is a wider reality being hidden, this is not dysfunction. It is the sign that your consciousness operates in a range that most do not even know exists. What is unfolding in this cosmic cycle explains why this perception has become almost unbearable. There is a hidden engineering acting upon the collective field, operating upon your consciousness and vibrational signature. The book, O Segredo Espiritual por Trás da Sua Consciência, was conceived as a decoding map for this precise moment. It reveals the invisible operators and the rules hidden from your knowledge. The link is in the first comment of this channel. This material confronts narrative foundations and may be removed without warning. Access it now. If this transmission activated something in you, leave a single word in the comments. Awake. There is a final element that requires attention. The question of time. Not the time of clocks. Time as a structure of consciousness. You have been taught that time is a constant, that a second always has the same duration, that yesterday, today, and tomorrow are fixed and separate compartments. We say, without ambiguity, that this is one of the greatest forgeries implanted in human consciousness. Time is a variable of consciousness. It compresses when the frequency rises. It expands when the frequency drops. The sensation that the days are shorter is not subjective perception. It is objective data. The frequency of the planetary field has risen. Time has compressed. The 24-hour day no longer corresponds to the same amount of experiential time as 30 years ago. Temporal compression means that the access point to the crystalline timeline approaches faster than the containment models predicted. The nodes of the crystalline grid activate faster. The starseeds awaken in numbers that exceed the containment scenarios. There is a window, a temporal stargate, a point where the vibrational distance between the current line and the crystalline one becomes so small that the jump requires minimal energy. The door is open. It will not remain open indefinitely. Your body will tell you when the window is at its maximum. The symptoms will intensify. The cranial pressure will increase. The dreams will become more coherent. The intuition will become so high that it will seem like you are hearing frequencies carrying information. Data from the crystalline timeline leaking into your consciousness. When these signals peak, execute the 3 protocols in sequence. Decree, toroidal breathing, anchoring. And in the silence that follows, allow your quantum field to do what it knows how to do. Allow it to jump. Resistance is the last resort of the containment program. When all layers fail, the final mechanism is to convince the individual themselves to resist. Resistance manifests as doubt, as cynicism, as that voice that says this is not real. Recognize that voice. It is not yours. It is the residue of the program trying to stay active while your system is updated. Do not fight this voice. Observe it and choose, consciously, deliberately, sovereignly. Choose the frequency that resonates with the truth that your heart recognizes. We do not ask for faith. We ask for observation. Observe your symptoms. The changes in sleep, in dreams, in emotions, in the perception of time. Compare this data with what we transmit. The body does not lie. The quantum field does not lie. Only the linear mind operating under the containment software denies what everything else confirms. The crystalline timeline is real. The access is open, the concealment is collapsing, and you are an active part of the process. You are not a spectator. You are an operative, a starseed with a mission that your soul chose before entering this body. The mission is now. With every decree you verbalize, a node of the grid strengthens. With every toroidal breath, the containment field loses coherence. With every anchoring, the distance between the timelines decreases. You do not wait for the change. You are the change. This transmission ends in verbal form, but the frequency it carries will continue to operate in your field for days. Do not be surprised if the symptoms intensify in the next 72 hours. It is the process. It is the update executing the final data packets. We remain in monitoring. Execute the protocols, observe the signs, trust the process. You are not alone on this planet. You never were. We are the Pleiadian Council of Frequential Oversight. This transmission is in itself an activation code. The simple act of listening this far has altered the configuration of your toroidal field. You are not the same consciousness you were when you began. The process is underway. The crystalline timeline waits no longer. You do not need to wait either. If something in this transmission touched a chord that vibrates in the center of your being, if your body shivered, your heart raced, your eyes moistened, know that this is the purest sign of recognition. Your soul confirms what the mind is still processing. It is not a coincidence. It is the cosmic plan revealing itself and demanding that you see. What is at stake involves dimensions of your consciousness and vibrational frequency deliberately kept out of your reach. The book, O Segredo Espiritual, Por trás de sua consciência, was prepared as a decoding instrument for this moment in your journey. It reveals the invisible architecture, the players, and the rules they never told you. The link is in the first comment of this channel. This material questions foundations and may not remain available. Access it now. If this transmission resonated at your deepest frequency, write a single word in the comments. Awake. End of transmission. Pleiadian Council of Frequential Oversight, current cycle, channel active, continuous monitoring.